Hi, my name is Janet Courtney, and I'm the CEO and founder of Lighthouse Therapy. In this video, we're going to go over some of the things that you really need to consider before you even get started with teletherapy. And then I'm also going to talk about some things during the onboarding process that you should consider. And once you get started, what should you be considering? So the first thing that any teletherapy company that you reach out to is probably going to ask you is, what discipline do you need? And what are some of the caseload specifics that you have identified that you need for this position? Which students are you going to refer to us for teletherapy services? The next thing is we really need firm start dates. So if you have somebody going out on a leave, you need to really know specifically when that leave is going to happen. Now, with maternity leaves, we know that sometimes that's not possible. They have a date planned and you're good to go and you think everything's going good, and then the therapist goes out early. That happens. We understand that. But that is also something to consider. Additional clearance. Are there any additional clearances that the therapists need in order to work for your district? What are they? What's required? And how do you need them? What form do you need them in? The location where therapy is going to happen. Where in the school have you identified that services are going to be conducted? Do you have a facilitator? Who's going to bring the students to therapy? Do you have the equipment? And is the technology available in order for the students to be able to receive therapy services? And if you don't have it, what do you need? What does the school need? Where is the internet? Where is the headsets and the microphone and the computers? And we always recommend hardwired. You don't have to. You have to have really strong Wi-Fi if you're going to go with Wi-Fi. What support do I need to get set up from the school or from the company that you're working with? Maybe they have a specific software that your school has blocked out and you need to get it whitelisted. We at Lighthouse will actually try to help you with a lot of those questions and make sure that you have those kinds of supports as we go through. We can certainly do a tech check at the beginning of the services, make sure that everything is working. How about your stakeholders? Do you have buy-in from the stakeholders that are going to be affected by teletherapy? What are the challenges that you're going to need to overcome? You're making this decision for a lot of people. It's not just going to be you that is going to be affected by this choice. Who is going to get the invoice? How is your budget set up, and how is it going to affect your budget when you're shifting this money? Understanding how that works is different in every school. Now let's talk about once you get started. First of all, you're going to need a primary contact. And most of the time it's not you. That's somebody that's going to be getting the notifications to the therapist that there's an absence that day. There may be scheduling conflicts that we need to be aware of. Access to your systems. We have to have IEP access most times. Sometimes if we send emails, those emails will be blocked by your system. So that's something we may need. Other systems that the therapist might need, like Medicaid billing or student databases. These are all things that you automatically give to somebody who's an employee of your school, but we need to make sure that the therapist can get the information they need as well. And then communication regarding the Lighthouse Therapy therapist that's assigned and the list of teachers that they're going to be needing to communicate with based on the caseload that you've given them. And are there referral methods in place for the students that are being referred, or if there's new students that are going to be referred, how is that going to be worked out? What about parents? How is the district going to communicate with the parents that they've chosen this for their student? School calendar, bell schedules, changes in the grades, changes in buildings, what's going to happen at this building versus what happens at this building. Then you have to deal with different principals, right? This is what happens here at this elementary school, but then this elementary school does something different, or the middle school or the high school. What do you do if a problem arises? How do you reach out? Any other unforeseen logistics are really important when you get started. And the biggest thing that you're going to need to do in all of this is communicate. Communicate regularly with the teletherapy company that you have contracted with. And if they're not offering that, that's something to consider. You definitely want, when you get started, when you start with teletherapy, you want regular meetings. You want to make sure that this is a smooth transition for you. especially if you have never done teletherapy, and even if you have done teletherapy before, if you're using another company or if they have new therapists, you want to make sure that process is as smooth as possible. And communication happens when we meet, right? I'm not saying that it has to be something that's regular all year long, but when you get started and when you start thinking about what needs to happen, all of those things that you think about your on-the-ground therapist are things that you're really going to need to think about for a teletherapist that's coming in. Our teletherapists, we want them to be a part of your team. They are going to be serving your students, so we need to make sure that they have the tools to be successful within the environment you're choosing to put them in. Help us to help them, and then help us to help them so that they can help your students. That's the point. We are all here to serve those students. That's what we want to do. That's what we as a company partnership with you to do. And that is our passion. And yours too, I'm sure. Well, I hope you found this helpful. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer your questions. For more videos like this, you can find them in our resource library at lighthouse-therapy.com. Thanks for watching and have a blessed day.